Good morning, members, and to the viewing public who are watching our Committee on Ways and Means meeting through our live feed and social media platform. The chair will now call today's Standing Committee on Ways and Means to order, August 19, 2025. And with 6 members of the committee present, we have duly established the necessary quorum to conduct today's order of business. So with that said, we move now to item 2, adoption of agenda. And do I hear a motion? There is a motion to adopt today's agenda, and it has been seconded. Discussion on the motion. Ready? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Motion is adopted. Moving along to our next order of business, that is item 3, public comments. And at this time, if there's any members here in the building that wishes to make oral testimony, you may do so. At this time, seeing that there is no members of the public to provide oral testimony, therefore public comments is now closed, and that we move further down on our order of business, and that is item 4, old business. There happens to be none. Before we move to the next order of business, let me recognize Representative Joel Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to clarify. I know that we had a bill regarding the MVA 1% to parks. I know it's in bill calendar right now for a session, but I thought we were under this understanding that we were going to discuss that under old business.
Apparently, it is not in our order of business on today's agenda, but we can have that open discussion, and then maybe perhaps I know that it's in the bill calendar on our last session, and this is the 1% OPA fee,
Yes.
MVA fee for Parks and Rec, right? So my apologies, Representative Joel. It's not reflective here in our agenda, but we can have perhaps having that open discussion and have a position on that bill, so that the next House, maybe I as a chair or maybe some of the members can push for that bill to move forward, that we had that open discussion as a body. You still have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I know that we can't take action on that, any amendments and whatnot, but since it's not an old business and you said that we could discuss it, maybe I'll make a recommendation while on our next session that I can place a floor amendment. There was a comment from MVA, and one of our colleagues mentioned that they also agreed with the comment from MVA to reduce the amount that I said on that legislation, and I'm okay with that. So as long as we have an understanding with the committee today that on the day of session, and we are going to act on that particular piece of legislation, that I will be providing a floor amendment, and if the members can support the movement of that bill out of bill calendar.
Duly noted, and if you are in liberty to share that communication from MVA with regards to the reduce of the percentage, so that the members can start reviewing that document, so that we are ready on the next session to support.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And actually, it's not, just for clarification, it's not a reduction of the percentage. It's actually to remain at 1%, but to reduce the amount of 75,000 to at least 50,000.
Okay, duly noted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Recognize the floor leader before we go to new business. Recognize.
Thank you, Chairman. And I think in line with what Rep. Camacho is saying, that when we get to the next session and the amendments that are going to be offered on the floor under bill calendar, that the amendments be already prepared as to proceed with action, whatever amendments that he would like to make to be presented at the next session, but please be ready by that time. That way we can already kind of have a consensus as to where we're going, and not prolong any more action on his proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Duly noted. Any further under old business before we proceed to new business? Ready? Thank you, members. With that, we are now on item 5, new business, and first up on our item 5A, we have House Bill 24-38, a bill for an act to establish a dedicated cinema emergency reserve fund, rainy day fund, with annual mandatory deposits and procedures for fund disbursement in times of declared emergency while ensuring fiscal accountability. This bill is also, as we speak, remains on the bill calendar on our last House session. It is agreed upon on our last House session that the committee make a decision on such a proposed legislation. And also, this legislation is actually authored by our Vice Speaker and two other members. And this provision pretty much sets aside reserve funding for emergency purposes. So we are now under open discussion. And under open discussion, we have the author here, and we want to give the Vice Speaker the opportunity to speak on behalf of his proposed legislation. Vice, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members. So this bill is pretty much straightforward, and yes, thank you. I know it's still in on the bill calendar. As discussed earlier, there may be some amendments to this bill. One would include the effective date, or not date, but not for this current fiscal year, but for the next. I just don't want this to hinder or delay the budget process up in the Senate. And sorry, Mr. Chairman, what was your concern earlier regarding the 180-day reporting requirements?
Right. I have some concern under the 180 days reporting clause after the end of the emergency declaration, and compared to the 60 days before the end of fiscal year. So there is a big variance on days, and that I wanted to bring that issue up to the committee that because of the big variance of the days, even with the 60 days before the end of the fiscal year, no matter how severe the declaration is, we're only giving the Secretary of Finance 60 days as opposed to the 180 days after the end of the emergency declaration. That's a huge variance there. So maybe my ask to the committees, maybe we should have more of a uniformity with the days for that regard. You still got the floor, Vice.
Yeah, and I have no objection to that, Chairman.
Thank you. So with that, we are open discussion, and we thank the author for giving a brief testimony on behalf of the proposed legislation. And at this time, let me recognize Representative Joel Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to make or ask our legal counsel what would be the proper action. I know that this is in our currently under our discussion, and it is reflected in our agenda for us today. However, since it's also in bill calendar, what would be the proper remedy? Would we just adopt actions taken right now? I know that we have a House Draft 1 version before us. I'm just wondering if we adopt that, does that reflect in our bill calendar? Council, maybe you can act.
Let us have a short recess. Short recess. Thank you, members. We are back and to the viewing public. Before we went into recess, we were at open discussion on House Bill number 24-38. And under recess, the committee had decided that a House substitute will be offered by the author on the next call of the House session. So with that, are there any objections from the members that we move further down on our order of business? Okay, thank you, members. Moving along, we are now on the next item, item B, which is House Bill 24-45, a bill for an act to reappropriate $50,000 under Public Law number 21-10, Section 2G for operational expenses for the office of the mayor of the municipality of Rota. We have the author of the proposed legislation, Representative Julie Ogo, and at this time, I'll give her the opportunity to make some statements. You are recognized.
Thank you, Chairman Sablan. So this funds was actually derived from the $2 million that was allocated from the IPI for the first senatorial district. It remained unencumbered. And so it's still available under business unit number 7193B. And so there's no need for the utilization of this fundings for the initial purpose of the appropriation. So with this bill, it's requesting to reappropriate the fundings for the operations of the mayor's office. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Julie Ogo. And just for the members, there is also an attachment of the certified availability of funds from finance. Funding was still there, never used since the 21st legislature, just for your reference. Let me recognize again the author of the bill.
And I would like to, give thanks to this committee, Mr. Chairman, for providing that list of revolving accounts, and this is how I was able to identify that we have other encumbered funds that still remain in this law, appropriation law. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Ogo. Open discussion. Let me recognize the floor leader, Representative Marissa Flores.
Thank you, Chairman. And I guess my questions to Rep. Ogo. And so we know that the municipality of Rota, the mayor, has 100% reprogramming authority to utilize these funds. It's not very clear what the funds are going to be used for. Do you have any idea what the funds are going to be used for?
Yes, actually, we're going to address that in the delegation level. Right now, the mayor owes one of the architect engineer, I believe it was Herman Cabrera, about $49,000 on the A&E design. So, we were able to identify fundings through this source. Thank you.
Will you be open to putting some money aside for this for medical referral for those individuals from Rota to Saipan?
We're exploring other resources for that. This time, it is urgent that we also address this one because there are other federal projects just hindering, due to this debt that we have with Mr. Cabrera.
Okay, so this appropriation will be passed here, and then at the delegation level, you will be, I assume.
No, sorry to interrupt. This is a House law
I
bill,
understand.
and it's going to go to the Senate for approval, not the
Right.
delegation.
Okay, so thank you. So for the Senate, so that's where you're going to put the language that this money will be used to pay a certain a vendor?
Can I just clarify with the legal counsel how the process, does it go to the Senate and the delegation or just straight to the?
This is a House bill.
Okay.
It goes to the
So,
Senate.
because this is in discussion with the chairman of the delegation, I'm pretty sure he's aware that this amendment will be made at his level. Thank you.
Representative Marissa Flores, you still have the floor.
Okay, so the floor leader, Manglonia, will be addressing this at the Senate, and the hope is that the 50,000 will be inserted the language to pay a vendor who had completed a job, which is an A&E job for the municipality of Rota. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so it'll be in the legislation. Thank you.
Just clarification, Rep. Ogo. I think it's best that if that's the case, that the Senate's going to amend this, it's going to come back to us. So I suggest that we make that amendments here, so that when it comes to the Senate, instead of making the amendments, they concur, and that it goes straight to the governor for signature. Do you want time? Do you need a recess to work on that?
Can you call for
Recognize.
recess, please? Recess.
Short recess. Thank you, members, and to the viewing public. We are back on our committee session, and before we had the short recess, we are in open discussion on House Bill number 24-45. And at this time, the committee had decided that we are going to move forward. And so, do I get any motion for the adoption of committee formulation of a committee report recommending to the full body for its adoption? There is a motion offered and has been seconded. Discussion on that motion? Ready? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Motion is adopted. Thank you, members. Moving along, we are now on item C, House Bill 24-48. A bill for an act to adjust the 1992 salary cap of executive directors to a 2025 inflation equivalent amount. We have the author here before us, and at this time, let me recognize the author to have a few statements. Recognize Representative Angelo Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this proposed legislation is basically to adjust the current 1992 statutory salary cap for executive directors. For the record, current executive directors are CUC, NMHC, CPA, CDA, and I believe there's two other executive director positions that are not included in the current salary cap. And just keep in mind that this is not going to take effect immediately. They still have to go through the approval of the boards. And also, this is also based on availability of funds. However, Mr. Chairman, if wanted to ask the committee if they're okay to make an addition or an amendment, if you will, to include administrators that are 100% federally funded. I received a call last week. I believe this is from BCQ. They currently have an administrator that wants to take advantage of the federally funded position, and if we can include, I guess, not just that one entity, but all administrators in general that are 100% federally funded to be included in this legislation. I feel like we need to capitalize on the federally funded. According to this individual, they currently don't have any cap. They can go as far as I don't know the exact number, but I think if we can include them at the 70,000 cap, that'll be perfect. Just my take, and up to the committee members as well. But again, this is not going to take effect immediately. It's based on availability of funds. Again, they have to go to their boards, and I guess even the legislators, for approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Angelo Camacho. We are now in open discussion on the proposed legislation before us, House Bill number 24-48. Open discussion. And if you can see under the proposed legislation, what it specifically does is just on page 3, striking off the 70,000 and inserting the 160, which is what is the calculation right now under our consumer price index, if you will. We are now in open discussion. Recognize Representative Marisa Flores.
So it says here on page 3, line 16, not more than 70,000, strikeout with the insert of 160,000 as determined by the applicable boards based on duties and responsibilities of such agencies. What particular agencies are you talking about, and how do they do this?
In response, let me recognize the author.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe that that particular agency is for CUC. Again, this is like, let's say, MVA as well. I know they have a board. I mean, NMHC has a board, CPA has a board, CDA has a board. I don't know what their exact regulation states, but again, it's based on the board's discretion.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
do I still have the floor?
You still have the floor.
Thank you. So Rep. Camacho, MVA doesn't receive any federal funds, do they?
I don't believe so.
So this, if the board says that they can get more than what is additionally capped right now, and I'm assuming 48,000 for an executive director in that particular area, they have the discretion to either meet 160 and cap at 160, but the number is not to go over 160, that's right?
That is correct.
Okay, so the board now will decide if the salary of the executive director is sufficient and is allowable because of the duties and responsibility they have. So they will have 100% discretion to lift their salary. That's right?
That is correct. Again, it's
Okay.
going to be based on availability of funds.
All right, so we know that MVA doesn't get any federal funds, so that will come out of the general coffer.
That is correct.
And then we have CUC, excuse me, Joe. And then we have CUC, who has federal funds in water, but not power. And they can go over the cap as well, right? But they don't have an executive director, they only have directors, is that right?
The cap you're referring to, the 160,
Uh-huh.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They cannot go over that.
Right. So CUC has an executive director currently, but they also have directors within the agency. But we know water gets grants, power doesn't. So a lot of the power is the salary of the executive director for the power is really tapped in from the general coffer, correct? Right? I'm assuming that's correct, because I don't know where he gets the money if it doesn't come from the general coffer, because there's no federal grants for power.
Just for point of clarification, Madam Floor Leader, Representative Marisa Flores, this proposed legislation does not only limit to federal grants. This is all executive directors on all boards,
Right.
semi-autonomous and autonomous.
I understand.
I know,
And-
because your line of questions, you're alluding yourself to only federal grants.
No, my
This
line
is
of
open
questioning
to,
was alluding to the fact that we are in a economic crisis, and if the availability of funds is there, then that also would hinder moving forward, because now we're gonna have to pay salaries before we pay anything else.
upon availability of funds.
Again, correct.
Upon availability.
I understand, Chair. So my whole thing is that I just wanted to make sure that this was also inclusive mention of MVA, which was 100% local coffer, okay, within the three districts.
Which is not restricted by
I
this proposed
understand.
legislation.
Correct. So I just wanted to make sure that upon availability of funds, which we can actually move from SNIL to cover other areas. So thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you. We're still under open discussion. Let me recognize Representative Malcolm Omar.
I just wanted to touch base because I was reading on this proposal, and it's true. I know when it says salary cap for executive directors, all semi-autonomous and autonomous, there's the disparity there between some that's like Rep and the author said can go up to no limit. So, I mean, and just like you said, upon availability of funds, I mean, if the discretion is there, I don't see a problem with it. It's just that not at the time when this adjustment was first made in 1992, not all autonomous agencies were included in the cap. And I just think, I know everyone's really aware of our dire economic situation and stuff, but, to retain these talents, these resources that we have locally, and just stop losing them to the private sector or even moving away, not just to incentivize, but we have as a government or as a body who wants to focus all the resources available to better our lives and our people. I move that we adopt the committee report for this and pass it out. Thank you.
Before I recognize that motion, let me just allow further discussion. And Representative Roman Benavides, did you raise up your hand? You're recognized.
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a concern that I like when I'm reading this one, with the present situation that we have right now in the government, like some of the secretaries, and I'm just talking within the government, some of the secretaries and the director, the disparity of pay between the secretary and the director has really transcended a lot in the past. And a lot of the secretaries are offered to take a job within the government. A lot of people are offered to take a job in the government, but still, it should be the secretary that has a higher pay. Unfortunately, the directors who was a civil service that stays in there gets more pay than the secretary as the years go by, and that's the disparity. Because if you're talking about quality individual or expertise or any kind of people, you gotta pay them the price. And that's the only thing, Mr. Chairman. I'm not trying to debate anything. I'm just trying to put 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Roma Beneventi. Any members further on the first round? For the second round, recognize Representative Marisa Flores.
And again, I'm not here to bash anybody or have a debate, but when you're talking about certain things like this, you still have another system of people that have been wanting to get a merit increase that have yet to have that. And then we introduce a bill like this to give, upon availability of funds, to executive directors who, again, and after every other election might even change because they didn't support that Godzu or this Godzu, whatever it is. But we still have a system that has been waiting for merit increase for over 20 years. I move the table.
We are still under further discussion. Let me recognize the leader,
Yeah, I
Representative
just
Royada.
wanted to state for the record that although I do agree with Rep. Camacho about updating the salary cap, but this just comes to mind about Rep. Marisa Flores is concerned. I also have the same concern. We have a lot of people who are also we're losing to the private sector and off island because they have greener pastures and they yet to receive their WGI, their merit increase, promotion, and their performance should match their salary. And I think that on this one I would have to agree with Rep. Marisa, floor leader, to table the bill until we kind of iron out the other things that are concerning. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Leader Adda. We are still on open discussion. Recognize the author of the legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And again, I thank you, members, for your inputs. I really do appreciate it. Just a reminder, again, I want to emphasize that, this particular legislation, it's not going to take effect immediately. It could take a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, however many years. Again, it's going to be based on their performance. They do have a board. Performance, whatever their rates are based out of. It's not, like I said, it's not gonna happen immediately. I know we're in a current state of fiscal crisis right now. It's just being fair and transparent with the other executive directors. Like I said, right now we currently have, it's just updating. It's been 33 years since no updates, and these positions hold big responsibilities, and I just think it's deserving. But again, it's really up to the committee. I just wanted to reiterate that they have a board. The board ultimately approves it. The legislature, based on funding again, and if we, like I said earlier, if we can add the administrators that are 100% federally funded. If you guys want to change the title for now and include specifically just administrators for now, then like I said, they're 100% federally funded and they're currently at a cap right now. So I think we should capitalize on that. It's a little, I don't know. It's federally funded. We're not losing out if that's what your concerns are. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's have a short recess. Thank you, members. We're back on our committee meeting, and before we had recess, we were at item C, House Bill 24-48. And during recess, we had numerous debates and concerns, and therefore the chair will table House Local Bill 24-48 for further discussion. So with that, we are now in item D, House Bill number 24-50, a bill for an act to authorize a loan between the Commonwealth Government and the Marianas Public Land Trust in the amount of 29 million, and to authorize Marianas Public Land Trust to withhold and retain net annual distributable income starting fiscal year 2025 for repayment and security of the loan. We are now in our open discussion. As all you members remember, on our initial meetings before we started our budget deliberation, we have discussed this proposed legislation, and now it's before us. So we are now in an open discussion. Are there any discussion on this proposed legislation? Recognize Representative Angelo Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I was watching last week's Senate meeting along with O&B and Finance, and I guess Senator Manglonia raised the question that if this loan wasn't, absence this loan, just for clarification purposes, are we going to go into austerity? Would that be a possibility, or?
In response, austerity is a possibility if we don't collect the anticipated projections starting on the first quarter of this upcoming fiscal year. If we don't get the anticipated collections within the first and second quarter, we can assume that the administration might enter into a austerity measures, because we're not projecting as anticipated. So that's a possibility in response.
And also, my other question would be, during the deliberation for the budget in this committee, I've seen that we've made drastic cuts to several agencies such as PSS, NMC. I don't know if that, I know for PSS alone, they've requested for 40 million. And
That
I
is
believe
correct.
we've only granted them, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Chairman,
31,
31 million.
a little bit over.
So if this loan was to be approved, would we replenish the cuts?
That is the goal of this August committee that we have discussed early on when we have deliberated on the budget, that should we strike an agreement and a loan with MPLT, that we are in the consensus that we will try to restore those funds that we have free up from PSS, as an example, NMC also as an example, to restore them back in response.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Under open discussion, recognize Representative Joel Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also, going off of Rep. Angelo, what he had mentioned, just wondering if the committee had reached out to PSS regarding this bill, because I know that right now there's discussion that they're going to proceed with a lawsuit against the CNMI government. I'm not sure if they have any knowledge of this bill that would help to restore what was taken away from them. I think they're reacting because, in essence, as a result of the 29 million cuts that we had made during the budget deliberation. But do they know about this?
In response, they do. I have sat in several meetings with the board and PSS administration as well, the commissioner himself and his team, and we have discussed this bill of authorizing the central government to enter into a loan with MPLT.
So would that help to satisfy their?
I did let them know that if a loan is agreed upon, that it is the position of this standing committee to restore those fundings that we have free up as opposed of those increase that were granted by the proposal of this administration for this upcoming fiscal year.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now leads to my last question, which is the most important question. Is absent this bill and the Senate doesn't agree with this 29 million, it will, in essence, trigger them to proceed with their litigation against us. Or
I
the
believe
federal
that
government.
there are, in response, I believe there are several scenarios that PSS had, expressed during our budget hearings. And the top scenario one was at the tune of 49 million. The 40 million was scenario two, which is what the proposal of the administration, although we did not, with our exercise, we did not give them the 40. Everyone across the central government was status quo as opposed to this current fiscal year 2025. But I had had meetings with them, and I told them that we have discussed with the committee that should a loan is agreed upon, we are going to do our best to restore those free up money that we got from PSS.
Thank you.
Further discussion under House Bill 24-50? Are we ready? Can I get a motion for the formulation of the adoption? There is a motion for the formulation of the committee report recommending to the full body to support House Bill 24-50, and it has been seconded. Discussion on that motion? Ready? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion is adopted. Thank you, members. Moving along, we are now on item E, Senate Bill 24-19, a bill for an act to amend 9 CMC subsection 2208D to authorize motor vehicle licensure to all residents of the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas Islands. We are now in open discussion. I believe every member has the Senate committee report, and this proposed legislation is authored by Floor Leader Senator Donald Manglonia from the 1st Senatorial District. And we are now in open discussion. Recognize Representative Joel Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ready to move on this bill. If you look at the comments received, it seems that this legislation was sponsored by the Department of Public Safety, the motor vehicle. They're supporting this legislation as well, so I don't see any problems with it.
Second.
Before I recognize the motion, if we can give the opportunity to members if they wish to make comments or have this open discussion. Are there any members? Recognize Leader Roy Adap.
I also agree with Rep. Joel Kamatsu. I see that the Senate had did their part and fine-tuned this bill, so I'm ready to move and adopt the committee report.
Ready, members? If that's a motion and it has been seconded, there is a motion by Leader Roy Ada for the adoption of Senate Bill 24-19, and that the committee formulates its committee report recommending to the full House body its support in passing House Bill 24-9, Senate Bill 24-19. Discussion on that motion. Ready? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion is adopted. Thank you, members. That takes care of all the proposed legislation. What we have before us now are all governor's communications, department and agency communication that the speaker had referred to this August body. So just so that we're in line with our order of business, we'll just go one by one. So item F is Governor's Communication 24-34. Are there any discussion on Governor's Communication 24-34? Ready? Okay, thank you, members. So with that, it does not require any actions from this August body. It's just for information purposes. We move down now to item G, Department and Agencies Communication 24-13, DPO submission of the supplemental notice of land compensation claims, ready for settlement. Are there any discussion on that communication? Ready? Thank you, members. Moving along, we are now on item H, Department and Agencies Communication 24-14, and this is the Department of Finance third quarter report for fiscal year 2025, ending on June 30, 2025. Are there any discussion? Recognize Representative Ralph Yumo.
Thank you, Chairman. And just going back to what I mentioned in the last session with regards to the third quarter, I did notice that, and I did inform the chairman to do a follow-up on Department of Finance as to why or at least get an update as to the procedures of the construction tax, as it was entered as a pretty much zero for the whole year. So we just need to be informed as to why and what's the progress on that.
Right.
Thank you, Chair.
Duly noted, and the chair would use his capacity as the chair for Ways and Means to request that for the overall Commonwealth collections on construction tax. And also, I know that you have requested also on our last House session that we also get the numbers for the delegation local SIPE local law that also calls for the collection of construction tax in the 3rd Senatorial District. So I will be doing two separate communication letter to the Secretary of Finance on this report on the collections on construction tax. Thank you, Rep. Yumo. Further discussion under this Department Agency Communication 24-14. Ready? Thank you, members. So with that, we are on our last item, which is item I, miscellaneous communications, and that is the MPOT preliminary decision on the 29 million pension obligation investment. Discussion on that communication. Recognize Representative Joel Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May I just make a recommendation that since we have already adopted committee report for your House Bill 24-50, that we attach in the committee report Governor's Communication 24-34 and Miscellaneous Communication 24-46 to be attached to that committee report.
Any objection? With no objection, Ms. Claire, please take note that we can we also attach these two separate communications to support the voted upon adoption of the formulated committee report for the authorization of the 29 million with MPOT loan. Further discussion, recognize Representative Ralph Yumo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under 24 miscellaneous communication 24-46, can the chairman update us? I know not all of us are present in those meetings as to what is the I guess where we're at with the communication and where does the Senate stand? I understand that the couple of meetings that I attended, no senators were present. So can the chair update us as to the progress of the I guess the pension obligation bond?
Yeah, thank you for that question. And so in response, the The trustees had approved to consider scenario 2, which is the low interest, which also requires congressional authorization. That motion was approved, and it still stands as we speak at 7.5%. With regards to have any members of our counterparts, Senate members have been attending, as of yet, there are no senators that have been joining the meetings that I have attended. But the part of the motion also that was offered by Chairman Philip Long was that the motion would carry all the way for 90 days, which is at that time back in July. So that 90 days would bring us to October 1st. So from now to October 1st is the window of time to come to the table to have this discussion on if we are going to move forward with the loan or not. And that is where we are as of this time. You still have the floor,
Thank you, Chair.
Representative Rolfe.
And with regards to the loan, is there any breakdown as to how the funds will be expended, or is there a proposal being sent to the chair or any of the?
There is no proposal, but there is a draft considered agreement that I believe I shared to every member in the beginning of our deliberation. That draft is a working draft with the legislature and MPLT. That's would be perhaps the draft that will be considered if we are going to enter into a loan. And with regards to the loan, if there's any loan that's going to be agreed upon, it's going to be the loan for the 29 million for the pension settlement of 75%. So when that happens and that payment goes to the Department of Finance, then it will free up 29 million in revenues that are bound for appropriation, and then we would be at that time expecting the administration for a supplemental our way to the legislature to appropriate that free up 29 million in result of the loan agreement that pays the 29 million for the settlement agreement.
Okay.
You still have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I yield.
Okay, further discussion under miscellaneous communication 24-46. Are we ready? Thank you, members. That takes care of our agenda this morning. So we are now on item 6, announcement. The chair doesn't have any announcement. Are there any announcement from the members? If there is none, then we are now on our last order of business, which is item 7, adjournment, and the chair now adjourns this committee meeting. Well, thank you, members, and to the viewing public.